Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, grab a coffee, because today we're diving right into a battle that you and, honestly, practically everyone else fight every single day. You know that feeling? Like a part of you is desperately clawing to succeed, but another part just keeps dragging you backward. Well, today we're breaking down exactly why we sabotage our own goals so often, and way more importantly, how to finally stop fighting ourselves. So, why do we sabotage ourselves? Why do we constantly start a new diet only to quit by Tuesday, or ghost our fitness goals, or stay stuck in bad jobs? Look, I want to be super clear right out of the gate. You are not losing this battle because you're weak, okay? You're losing because you're human. This is not about a lack of willpower. It's not a character flaw. It's actually a profound internal conflict. We're talking real neuroscience here, and we're going to figure it out together. Right now, at this exact moment, there are basically two competing forces duking it out inside your head. In one corner, you've got your instant self. This is your primitive brain. It is loud, it wants comfort right now, and it craves immediate pleasure. It's that nagging voice telling you to just hit snooze one more time and, yeah, definitely eat that slice of cake. Now, in the other corner is your future self. This is your evolved, strategic brain. It gets the whole delayed gratification thing, and it desperately wants growth for you tomorrow. But here's the massive psychological catch. Your instant self is screaming in the present moment, while your future self is quiet and abstract, kind of like a ghost living in tomorrow. And, this is exactly why relying purely on motivation is a total trap. We always tell ourselves, man, I just need to get more motivated. But think about it. Motivation is really just a temporary state where your future self briefly wins the argument. It's totally fleeting. You learn a new concept, you feel absolutely pumped, and your future self grabs the steering wheel. But eventually, inevitably, that motivation fades. And since your instant self is always so loud and right there in your face, it just snatches the wheel right back. You simply cannot rely on motivation for long-term change. Part 1. The Psychology of Sabotage. Why we trip ourselves up. Let's look under the hood at the neuroscience and psychology of why we sometimes intentionally, yet totally subconsciously ruin our own progress. The absolute most crucial thing to remember here is that you aren't just being lazy. There are deep, powerful psychological blocks at play. Maybe it's a fear of success. Like, who even are you without your familiar struggles, right? Or imposter syndrome, where your instant self actually prefers familiar suffering over the unknown territory of success. Then you've got identity conflict. If you've always been the person who quits, your brain actually tries to prove that true simply because it constantly craves consistency. It isn't personal at all. It's just your brain doing exactly what it's wired to do. Toss in a victim mentality or some environmental pressure from friends who are used to the old you, and wow, you can easily see why personal development can sometimes feel incredibly lonely and difficult. Part 2. 6 Strategies for Success. Designing the Victory. So now that we understand the core problem and realize it's completely natural, let's get into some actionable solutions. Strategy 1 is all about willpower. And the harsh reality here, willpower is finite, period. Think of it like a battery. In the morning, your tank is full. By the afternoon, it's half empty. And by the time evening rolls around, it is completely empty. This is exactly why you can eat a perfect, healthy lunch, but then find yourself tearing through a bag of chips at 10 p.m. The solution is actually to stop relying on willpower altogether. You have to design your environment so your instant self doesn't even have the chance to fight. If you don't want to eat junk food, simply don't buy it. Keep it out of the house. If you want to wake up early, put your alarm clock all the way across the room. We aren't trying to magically build more willpower, we are literally eliminating the need for it. Moving on to strategy 2, making your future self real. Like we talked about to your instant self, the future you is just a blurry ghost. But psychology research shows that to make better decisions right now, you absolutely need to emotionally connect with a vivid vision of tomorrow. So try this out later. Close your eyes and genuinely imagine your future self in 5 years if you don't change. Make it visceral. Really feel that disappointment. Then, flip it. Imagine your future self in 5 years succeeding wildly. Feel that immense pride. Connecting emotionally with that future version of you makes a night and day difference in your daily decision-making. Now, strategy 3 comes down to just one single number, 1. You've got to start microscopically small. Your instant self totally freaks out when you try an all-or-nothing approach. If you suddenly decide to overhaul your entire life overnight, your instant self gets insanely overwhelmed, sabotages the whole operation, and boom, you quit. So instead, just choose one tiny habit. You want to get fit? Please don't commit to a grueling 5-day-a-week gym schedule right off the bat. Just commit to doing 10 push-ups tomorrow morning. That's it. One tiny, easily achievable win gives your brain a nice little hit of dopamine. That builds real, sustainable momentum while keeping your instant self perfectly calm. Strategy 4 is all about understanding your triggers. See, your instant self doesn't just act randomly. It's always responding to specific situations. Are you exhausted from a late night? Boom, you binge eat. Are you super stressed out from a crazy day at work? You immediately start doom scrolling. What you need to do is map out your own patterns. Jot them down in a simple table so you can clearly see the exact feelings and triggers that lead to those actions you want to avoid. Once they are right there on paper, you can finally intervene and plan a detour before your instant self ever gets the chance to make a bad call. Strategy 5 is beautifully summarized by this quote: "Make decisions as your future self when you're calm, and then don't negotiate." I mean, that is absolute gold right there. Think about it. If you try to negotiate with your instant self at 6 a.m. when it's freezing cold and your alarm is blaring, your instant self is always going to win. Why? Because it's louder, and it is infinitely better at arguing in the heat of the moment. You have to treat your pre-made decisions like strict military orders. You decide the night before, and when morning comes, the debate is already over. Zero negotiation. And that brings us to strategy 6. Build an accountability system to stop your instant self from lying to you. Let's be real for a second. Our instant self is incredibly sneaky. It will rationalize, it will justify, and it will lie to our faces with zero hesitation. But it is much, much harder to lie to a friend or a coach or a public tracker. When you actually tell someone else about your goals and set up a system of daily check-ins, your instant self recognizes the massive difference between a quiet little promise made in your own head and a vocal, public promise made to another living, breathing human being. Part 3, the ultimate mindset shift, the paradigm shift. I really want to slow down for a second here because we've reached the absolute climax of this explainer, the biggest takeaway. Stop seeing this as a war. The very second you frame your journey as you versus you have instantly created an enemy. And the brutal, honest truth is, if you are fighting yourself, you are always going to lose because it's you. Neither your instant self nor your future self is inherently evil. They just want different things. The real goal here is to negotiate, to understand, and to actually work with your instant self. Human wiring naturally craves safety and comfort, and you know what? That's perfectly normal. So the real trick is to make change enjoyable. Throw your instant self a bone, give it small wins, show it tangible evidence that this new path is actually working, celebrate your progress, and just give yourself the grace and time to adjust. Gradual change will always beat radical change because it gives your primitive brain the time it needs to accept a totally new normal without frantically sounding the alarm bells. And that brings us to a final thought I want to leave you with. What part of yourself are you trying to win against right now? Remember, you don't win this journey through brute force, and you definitely don't win it through suffering. You win by understanding yourself, strategically designing your environment, and connecting deeply with your future. So I want to challenge you today, right now. Pick just one tiny, microscopic habit. Design your world so that your future self wins by default. That is how you truly master yourself. Let that question guide your very next step. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you finally